Okay, so for the last problem in the Experiment 5 pre-lab questions, we are looking at aqueous solutions of sodium iodide and silver nitrate. So we need to generate a balanced chemical equation and predict some products and some experimental observations. So, in terms of our starting materials, we have sodium iodide and we have silver nitrate. Now, to generate those chemical formulas, we know that sodium has a +1 charge. We know that I has a -1 charge, and when we cross to get our balanced chemical formula, we know that we form NaI. With silver nitrate, we have Ag and we have NO3. Now we know that because NO3 is a polyatomic ion, that it has a -1 charge. Now, in order for the overall charge of this molecule to be equal to 0, we know that silver has to have a +1 charge. So we end up forming AgNO3. So we have our starting material, we have our chemical formulas, we have NaI, and this is aqueous, looking at the question given it to us. And we have an aqueous solution of silver nitrate. Now, this problem, you see that both of the starting materials are ionic. So that means that we have cations and we have anions, which we can then crisscross in order to determine what our products are going to be. But again, remember to go through and identify what the charges are for the individual cations and anions. It will make it easier on you when predicting the products. So we have Na +1, we have -1, silver is a +1, and the nitrate is a -1. So in order to predict products, we want to crisscross our cations with our anions, and we see that for our first cation we have Na +1, and we pair it with NO3 -1. So when we crisscross to get our balanced chemical formula, we get Na1 and NO3 1, which we know we write as NaNO3. So we've now generated our first product, which is sodium nitrate. And if we look at the solubility rules, we see that nitrates are soluble with no exceptions. So we know that this gets an aqueous phase. If we predict our second product, we have our second cation, silver plus, and we are comparing it to I-, and again, we crisscross in order to generate our formula, which we then write as AgI. So we have now generated our second product, and we look at our solubility rules and we see that when iodide is paired with silver, that it actually is a solid in solution. So this will actually be a precipitate when it forms. So we have our products predicted, we have our starting materials, then we have to go through and make sure that everything is balanced by mass, and if you double check and look at it, you see that indeed it is. So we have our balanced chemical equation, we have our products, NaNO3, AgI, and we know that when this reaction occurs, we should expect to see a precipitate of silver iodide.